Oh, you're talking about, yeah, the Weston Fair.
I guess organizing.
Right, yeah.
From Weston here.
Nudge you over just a tiny bit.
No. You're welcome.
I will.
Yeah.
Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yeah, we
Hey,
haven't
Jen.
started yet.
Okay, I got you. Thank you. I was worried about that.
No, we got you.
Awesome.
Jim, is there a pencil underneath here?
There's I got a pen.
No, I got a pen. It's all good.
Hold on, let me.
No big deal.
Got an eraser.
Wow.
Yeah.
Debbie, we have 2 chairs over
Oh,
here.
they're offering me,
Oh, wait.
whatever, there's some chairs down there, so thank you very much, guys.
Is that one of
Looks
your
like a
fancy
pen, but
ones?
it's a pencil.
Okay, cool.
Yes, we had this many chairs.
There's a whole lot.
What would happen?
What if we just move
Should we
this
just
table
move
back?
this table back?
I want to move the table.
Yes.
That's
Yeah,
a
let's
little
move this
hard
over.
to do with the light.
Pardon?
It's a little hard to do with the light.
Oh, yeah, is it
They're
not,
not
are they
bolted
attached?
in.
They're not what?
What happens if we pick it up? Does the top just come off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. Has everybody signed in?
There is a sign-in sheet.
We're gonna confirm the recording.
Hold on, wait, there's more people coming in.
Yeah,
Expand the town office, that's all.
absolutely. Knock down the wall.
Are there more seats over
Recording in
there?
progress.
Call the meeting to order. Any changes to the agenda?
Yes. We're going to table right now the road foreman, discuss pay rates for Jason, just because, and clarifying pay for road crews and advertising.
Let me just pick up louder. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Tabling.
Can we have it really quiet here? Thanks.
I think that we should table the discussion for a pay raise for Jason because it should be an executive session as well as clarifying pay for road crews and hourly wage and advertising. It should be pushed back and then cited specifically to go into executive session. And as well as moving, I think that's it for right now for me.
Anyone else got any changes? Public comment. Number 5 is grant and aid, Jason Hitchcock, road foreman. FY26 grant and aid program supports work technical assistance request. We have used this past few years. Improved and signed. They give us some money to do some work on some roads. What do you got to say about it, Jason? This is your grant.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, with the grant work you're talking about? You're talking about the grant work, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yes. we were approved for the 29,000, and then we would have to add in, I think it's another $7,000 on that to do the grant itself. There is some updates we can do to the driveways with this grant or with any grant period, according to the state lady, with culvert pipes and stuff like that. But we'd have to get approval from homeowners and let them know that they would have to be responsible for their pipes after they're put in, because it is put in with a grant.
One problem I see with doing driveway culverts with grant is people are gonna say, well, you replace those driveway culverts and they won't understand it was for the grant. People buy land, they put a driveway in, they put a culvert in, it's property maintenance. If it needs to be replaced for protection of the roads, they should stand up to the plate and do it. We're in the process of trying to draft up some regulations for highway access to the roads, and I don't want to go there. We may have to, but if driveway culvert needs to be replaced and the homeowner doesn't, we'll get legal opinion, but I think we can probably put it in, bill them, and put a document on their deed. So when somebody comes to buy it and they haven't paid, there'll be a payment due.
Okay.
Is there some other work that we could do with this grant in it, or is that?
Well, like,
Yeah.
right.
I was
There-
going to say that there is other work that we can do with this, just besides replacing, but Jason, what were you gonna say?
There's quite a few culverts that go right up Piper Hill Road that need to be replaced anyway, and some rock lining, and of course seed and hay. And I did get started on Piper Hill. Of course, I started doing the ditch, and which seems how it is not finished, and that's why I stopped the work on that road, is that can get added into the grant already, so that we wouldn't have to pay out of pocket to seed and hay. And I think we'll have to, we may lose a little bit with the ditching that I've done, but the seed and hay and all that and the culverts will be covered. So I did get a little bit ahead of myself on it, but I wasn't sure about the grant stuff and how it worked at the time, and now I know. So
Okay, so this money can be used for any of that work.
It can, and then it can
Yeah.
if there's one thing designated, we can spill over and then work on something else.
So I think the big question is, do you go for the extra money to do private driveway culverts, or you just forget that for now and talk to the homeowners?
Is it only private driveway culverts, Jason, or are we looking at?
no, it's not just private driveway culverts, it's culverts in the road itself.
Right, okay.
And the grant will cover private driveways as long as the town approves it for it into their grant work, is basically what it boils down to.
But that's a case by case basis.
Yes, and you'd probably have to get permission from each homeowner to do it, and make sure that they're responsible for the culvert pipe after it's put in. So that would have to get put in writing somewhere.
I gotta say, I agree with you, Denny, on that is such a slippery slope.
It
Yeah,
is.
You know, there's,
We can just designate it towards the culverts that need to be replaced
Right,
that
it's
they're
funny about the work that
responsible
needs to
for.
be
There's
done
other
for the
stuff.
29 grand, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing about driveway access permits. We're holding them responsible, and it's gonna have a deed in it in the end, so.
Motion do the grant without touching private driveway culverts.
I second.
Then you just make the motion,
or are you looking for a motion?
or
Looking, I made it.
Okay.
I second.
Further discussion. All those in
So
favor?
that's, the grant without the private culverts.
Right.
Yes.
I think that was a good decision,
Thank you.
because there's enough work for the town highway department to do, to
Absolutely.
touch personal driveway.
Totally,
29,000
totally.
is not
And
gonna
everyone
get us
should be
that far.
responsible. If everyone's, it should be across the board, line.
Alright,
My only thing is there's a few of them driveways on that Piper Hill Road that are supposed to have culverts in them and that don't. They have PVC pipe in the driveway, and everything I've ditched is running down to one piece of 6-inch PVC pipe. So the road's probably
So
gonna get messed up again.
it will, that will be addressed. I will make that phone, I will make that visit and we can follow up because it's the original driveway access, roadway access permit that was signed. And so there just needs to be a clarification on what the timeline is. It's not exact in the bylaws from what I saw, but I would say it should be within the year and it's coming up on the year. So we'll definitely follow through with that.
Okay, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention, but yes, with the not putting in private piping or whatever, that's, I'm good with that.
Great.
We're gonna bypass, what you say, the tablet, the raise, the road
Well, should we,
Well,
why should we just go ahead with the tablet? Is that
well,
an issue?
I think we can go ahead with the tablet, but just the other stuff is just more executive session. It should be cited specifically, just to.
So do we have a quote for the tablet?
No, we don't have a quote for the.
I
No,
do.
you
I
don't.
did get a quote for like $279. I think it was. I'd have to actually look on my phone. I don't want to lose you guys. And I will buy that out of my own pocket if I have to.
No, you
No,
won't.
no. So essentially, the deal is with the tablet, because I met with Jason and Lisa, is that in order to keep everyone on the same page as far as the government, VTrans, us as a town, Jason goes and he puts in specific things that have to be done, like for ditching, culverts, waterways, all these different things. And so it's updated. So there's an app that the people from VTrans, we and everyone can all see that is constantly updated and shifting, and it keeps us on task.
So, and this, we're talking $275?
Yes.
Yep.
I move that we authorize Jason to use town funds to buy himself a tablet.
Second.
discussion. All those in favor?
I
Okay,
Branches, should we do that? Do we have?
well, I think it has to. We're gonna have to table. Well, we should have done that and changes to the agenda. That should be tabled because that should be a discussion about putting out for bids.
Okay, let's table it.
Table it. Yeah.
Do
Sorry.
we need a motion for that? I move we table it.
I second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Number 6, email from Canex regarding potential safety hazard and zoning issue. So I guess let you go first on it.
Well, as far as zoning goes, I think we're good. Travis is gonna move back into his grandparents' house and his father said that they would get a permit if it's required. It's a little bit tricky the way getting a permit is described in the bylaws, but I think a lot of that should be waived. I mean, it's not like putting an addition on the Weston Country Store. It doesn't have that formal procedure.
I have a question. So it's that area specifically is zoned for a rural residential RR. And in that, the permitted uses and conditional uses, it doesn't say that you can have a industrial commercial.
You can have a home business.
You can have a home business, but there is specifications on what kind of home business.
Katie, just a second.
Yeah.
I believe all his trailers are registered. And as long as the stuff stays on the trailers, there's nothing says he can't pull a trailer into his dooryard and park it. And furthermore, when the complaint was issued last time about the fifth-wheel motorhome, I did a little checking, and I believe that was properly registered. It was just parked there. We have regulations regarding living in a motorhome for a certain length of time But I don't believe there's anything saying you can't park it in your dooryard for so long a time.
That's not the issue here. I think that,
was the use of the road.
right, that's not the issue. And the specific issue is, first of all, safety. Safety on a main road where there is a blind hill, people coming on each side, that causes a potential for a disaster, in my opinion. Second of all, I understand that it can be a home business. There can be home businesses, but it says even in the bylaws that we have that there are specific designations for what these home businesses have per zone. So for rural residential, it specifically says that you can't have a commercial business that even if those are registered, it that doesn't, and even if Travis does move back, that's great. I mean, welcome to the community, but it doesn't change the fact that there is not a designation for that or an allowability for that specific type of business. And if there is going to be a permit process, I think that that's a whole different issue, but also needs to be recognized that it's not allowed in the zoning bylaws that are written and that are being rewritten right now.
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you keep on referring to a business, are we talking about landscaping business? Or are we talking about scrap metal business?
Well, I was,
Or is that all?
I believed that it was just a scrap metal business. I didn't know about a specific landscaping other business that was going
Well,
out of there.
I know you do landscaping, but when you're talking about a business,
Right,
are you referring to the scrap metal business?
I am.
And how that will,
And
I was referring to both.
you're referring to both?
Yeah, I guess I should have brought the bylaws with me, but I don't think there's anything against.
I also got another question. So I'm not allowed to run a scrapping business. I'm not running a scrapping business. I don't have a designated area where I'm running a scrapping business out of, really. It comes onto my trailer and then goes to the scrap yard, basically.
Aren't you also removing catalytic converters in your driveway with power tools?
From the cars, yeah.
Yeah, so that's not what you're explaining.
But anyways, so
That's not anyways,
That's not
why
anyways.
is Junkin Johnson down the road from us not getting a complaint too?
Well, I think
And he's been in business for 30 years, 40 years, right from down the road from us.
are they using? Okay, so
Yes.
I think what brought this all on is access on state highway, and we have no business trying to regulate your access to the state highway. It is a state issue.
Please stop, I'm
Right.
trying.
Which we have documentation from DOT saying it's 100% legal.
Right, well, let me finish.
Yep, sure.
We are trying to establish who is responsible for this, and we are also politely trying to tell you that you do have a traffic hazard loading down at your father's place. And yes, you can get by with it because there is a law.
Yeah.
But you gotta think beyond the loading, because if there's a serious accident there, you guys aren't gonna be left with anything time you're done. So, you know, you either gotta figure a different way to load them in the dooryard or do it something different. This is just advice.
Right.
It's not a regulation.
Right.
Because it's state highway.
Right.
And Will, correct me if I'm wrong, Will, you'll be looking into it, talking with Travis about a home occupation permit, right?
A home business permit,
Business.
because he has employees.
Scrap metal business is totally different though. That's something that needs to be given, like approved by the town, taken to the state, the secondary application to them.
you actually have to go through the Department of Environmental Conservation to be able to have a scrapping permit anywhere for any business.
Well,
So that has
that's
to do
another
with
gray
scrapping.
area I would call
Maybe
gray area.
Isn't it gray area?
I'm not saying
Now, wait a minute.
maybe
A gray area because he does lawn mowing and landscaping. And sometimes the customer's gonna say, hey, I got this
old dead lawnmower, I've got this old car, I want it gone. He's doing business for him, naturally, he's gonna take care of it and get rid of it.
No, it's an environmental issue when someone's removing parts of automobiles on their property with power tools. He's actively working on automobiles.
Regulation, that's a different, and again, it's a different thing, but that would certainly come up in a site plan review if there are state regulations. There's nothing in the bylaws.
So let's,
Doesn't the town require a permit for a scrap metal business?
Yes, but you need a permit through the Department of Natural Resources. So that's what you need the permit through to do a scrap metal business. You have to you can have a permit to have a home business within a specific zoned area if it adheres to what the zoning permitted spaces are, which I have in front of me. If anyone would like a copy.
I would question whether he'd need a permit as long as everything he has stays on the license.
He does
It
need a
does not
permit.
touch the ground, I don't think the state has authority. If so, half the trailer trucks going through town wouldn't be able to go through.
That's not, but it's a safety issue. I mean, we're talking about our community here. We're talking about safety, people's comfort and community. And there should be a line drawn for everyone, and there should be an open discussion about it. And I think we're having that right now.
Dwayne,
So Travis made you aware of another one that is commonly known in town that is doing this similar work to what he is doing. And there's also one at the north end of Weston that has been in existence for a numerous amount of years. Maybe a neighbor of your property that is scrapping and selling parts also. And if we're gonna we should treat everybody fairly.
Yeah, I agree.
So if you're not gonna clean them up, leave the kid alone.
We are cleaning them up. That's
No,
the,
you're not.
actually, we're trespassing into an
Right,
area.
but this is
That's
a
not
new
our state
conversation.
highway.
Just because it was there for 30 years doesn't mean that.
Mr. Linville tried to clean up a place down on Johnsonville Corner and the taxpayers spent plenty of money and I haven't seen anything change down there.
Well, there's obviously people are upset, and
Treat everybody fairly.
that's what we're working on. We're having a conversation about it.
But there's also the fact that they've been there so long, a lot of these things, they're exempt. Like mentioned, he's new, but the other two that he's mentioned, been there a long time.
Just because they've been there a long time doesn't mean that they were allowed to be there. They were just allowed to be there over a period of time.
I got a question. Isn't it a state law that you're allowed to have a home business anywhere in the state?
Yeah, but
Just-
there's regulations on it.
Right, but it's still a home business.
But there's regulations on what kind of home businesses you can have per zone. It's very specific.
There's also,
You're calling that residential, but that's as agricultural as it is residential.
It's,
And trucks and trailers are very common with agricultural.
Just a second, are you disputing the fact that the land is zoned rural?
rural residential.
It is also agricultural.
It has agricultural uses, but it is zoned rural residential.
Since that's what it's zoned, if I've got it right.
And it just, the way I see it, it's both. Because there's a residence there, yes, but it's also agricultural.
But it's not
your
commercial.
opinion
But it's not
Is
commercial.
not important. Your opinion is very important, but the land is zoned rural residential. I think that's the fact that we're dealing with. We have to start there. If you want to dispute that, I think that's a different thing, Will.
It's a different process.
But it's, a junkyard wouldn't be an agricultural use anyway.
Oh, we're
so it
not,
doesn't make any
we're not
difference.
running a junkyard.
Hold on.
They're parked there overnight,
Hold on,
leaving
hold
in
on.
the morning.
Right, and I think that's,
You're,
That's
let's,
sorry.
let's, The land is zoned rural residential. Do you dispute that?
Well, I guess by term, I don't understand it.
Do you dispute it?
How can I dispute it if I don't understand it?
So
Well, then you're not disputing it.
Well, what's the definition of residential?
Rural residential.
I will read it to you
Okay,
right
we'll
now.
read it to you.
The rural residential district, general description and purpose. Rural residential lands appear capable of accommodating a significant portion of expected growth for Weston. They are near improved highways and expect for certain areas with serious and critical limitations are generally sustainable for residential uses, permitted uses, agricultural and forest uses, a camp, a home occupation, nursery, greenhouses, 1 and 2 family houses, boarding house, tourist home and wildlife refuge, a private recreation facility, roadside agricultural stands, residential care and group home, and childcare.
So all of that is the definition of what that property is zoned as. So agricultural is part of it.
What is agricultural? So are you talking about the?
Like farm. It's a farm. I mean.
It's so it's a farm, but it's not a business as a farm. It's not used as a farm where you're making. Right. So we're just trying to hold everything across the board and call it as it is currently. Currently, right now, it is not a usable, workable farm as a business, and that doesn't mean it can't be. Doesn't mean it can't be rezoned or used as that. It doesn't mean as that it can. It says specifically here, even for home businesses, it has to be personal residential offices. It can be a nursing home, a restaurant, a religious institution, a school. But in no space in here in these words does it say that there can be a commercial property. And that is just what it says is the facts. It doesn't take away from the safety issue of using the main road on a Blaine Drive when it could cause an accident. And it's becoming a conversation that now we're having.
Well, he's not actually running a business out of there. He just parks his trailers there.
But
he doesn't do any work there. He doesn't do.
He does do work there. This is,
There
you're
is work being
lying.
done.
Not at that property.
No.
Not
How
at-
come we can hear it every night? Power tools, catalytic
You're
converters being
not
put out
hearing
of
it every
cars.
night at that farm.
I hear it all the time.
You're
It is
calling
not
us a
happening
liar?
at that farm.
You guys sitting there.
You
working
guys
on
are
it.
It is
lying.
not happening at that farm.
Okay.
It's not. The farm is not happening.
The trailers get parked there. The trucks may get unhooked and leave.
And parts just magically get taken.
Parts are not getting taken off at that location.
Even so, if their parts aren't being taken off, that's besides the point. Let's just go back to the safety issue, which is what everyone's really concerned about.
Okay.
That's what brought this up, was the
Okay.
safety issue.
So I do have a question. Can I speak just for a
Yeah,
second?
absolutely.
So is the problem the farm or is it the problem down the road? Because on the farm itself, 278 Route 100, Weston, Vermont, there is no converters being cut. There's none of that being cut. My dad's 100% right. I pull up, I back in the trailer, right in my park door. It's registered in my name, not my business name, my personal name. My truck is registered in my personal name. It gets backed in, I disconnect, I leave.
How long does it take for you to back in? What's the process of that?
3 minutes.
So you're
At
holding up a
most,
state.
at most.
So you're holding up a state highway for 3 minutes on both sides on a
3 minutes
blind road.
And I have state law saying right here that I'm 100% legal to do so.
For a period of time.
No.
No,
There-
there is an actual designated
Okay.
timestamp on how long you can hold up traffic.
You can block one lane of traffic indefinitely while loading or unloading products.
Which we're not
I
doing.
got this straight from a DOT officer.
Right, which would be the officer that would control that whole scenario.
Okay, so I
I think
understand.
you're getting off course here.
I'm-
We cannot solve the problem of them accessing the state highway. It's not our job. Our job is if it was a town road, we had a problem, then we could do something. This is a state highway and we cannot do a damn thing about it.
It's
And
not black and
somebody's
white.
got, I know it may not seem right.
It's not black and white though. There's shades of gray in this. It's not one thing or another, Denny. It's just because it's the state highway doesn't take away from the our responsibility as a town to protect and have there be a community where people feel safe and are adhering to the same zoning bylaws. Yes, there are other people that are doing other things. That's a conversation for another day. That will happen.
Yeah, I think you said it, Katie. This is a conversation for another day. I don't think we can make any progress. I don't know enough about this or the
Agreed, it's
issues.
exactly how I feel. I don't know
Yeah,
the state
I think
laws,
we-
I don't understand.
Yeah, we've got to,
All of this discussion has been about the farm. Is it any different on, I don't know your address, but where, your father, the house down the road?
Because that,
Is that?
you keep mentioning on a blind hill, well, that has nothing to do with the farm. That's down the road from the farm.
So the house down the road where Travis loads them and.
Hospital is
and
down
that's-
the road, at a
it's down the
different,
road,
completely
but
different
it's still-
address.
It's still in Weston. Is there any different designation?
I have no idea.
I don't know the addresses.
I don't understand the question. Can you ask that again?
There's two different addresses. He's saying, are they differently designated? But I don't know.
We
the
don't
No,
know.
they're
addresses.
not different. They're all within that
Right.
one rural residential
So-
designation. There's
so-
not one thing or another. It's across the board, that one space.
So you said there's nothing being cut off at the
It's
farm.
171 Route 100 West of Vermont.
It's stuff being cut off of 171.
Well, yeah. To be 100% honest with you, yes.
So if what you were saying is correct, then
If it's not
171,
done on the properties where they're picked up,
Right.
which
and
most of them are.
that's the brow of the hill where
Everybody
had
keeps
the
having this issue,
No,
which is on a state highway.
It was going on directly across the street from our place for a while. It wasn't loading and unloading, but it was the other trailer that has all the guys running the.
Okay, so that brings us into landscape,
That's
not
in the
scrapping.
lawn mowing.
There was a gooseneck
Tell me that
trailer right in front of
Million
our
mining
property.
companies in the town of Weston. You know, we got a couple right here.
No,
As
there was
is.
a large gooseneck trailer that was blocking traffic right in front of Coho. I watched it happen not that long ago. We have surveillance cameras, so we have it all on video if any of you would like to see that. It's not just happening down at his dad's property, it's happening in front of the barn too. It has been. Yes, I have it on video. Stop shaking your head. Yes.
I haven't
It
heard
did.
like you started in the field in years, before you guys even owned it.
Well, we're here now and it's been a problem. It's a problem for us. We tried to reach out to you. You ignored us.
Oh, we tried to reach back out to you.
Wait.
Walked across the
Hey,
street.
hold on. Oh, point of order. I'd like everybody to stop. I think we need to do a lot more research
I
on this.
agree.
And I,
Not
You
to
know,
say
there's
that
a
we
lot
don't
of
think it's
bickering
important.
going on.
because we-
How many more weeks are we gonna kick the can down the road with this? We were in here 3 weeks ago talking about this, and nobody's looked into it since.
What I brought up 3 weeks ago was I wanted them here to represent their side.
Right.
So now their side's been represented tonight.
So now you gotta dig into it more.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, well, before.
It would have been a kangaroo court if we'd have just listened to one side and went looking. They presented their side.
Do you have any, you obviously have been told by a lot of people that loading and unloading at your dad's house is very dangerous. Right?
But very legal.
I didn't say that.
Right.
I said, you've been made aware
Yeah.
by a lot of people. I've told you and other people have told you that it's dangerous. Right? And I don't think there's anyone who can say that it's not dangerous. Do you have any suggestions that you can put forward that would prevent that from happening?
I tried the whole putting up triangles thing.
I
tried
got
that.
a video of that, and that was really bad. That was almost even worse.
Yeah, I tried that, I tried to put up 3 triangles up and all these devastators, and I don't even know if there was any locals or not, but devastators and all that stuff ran right over them. That gets expensive real fast. It's $40 for those 3 triangles. I don't know. Maybe the only thing I could think of is if Dad's okay with it, is just moving the whole operation down to the lower driveway, the 171 driveway, and just back in. Then I'm off the highway, and I'm not in the danger factor of anybody coming up through there, nothing like that.
I think that would be a huge improvement.
You start.
It would be a start.
We're trying, they complained about the roof blowing off and landing in their lawn. Alright, I'm 60 years old, I'm not comfortable being up there. I got my daughter's boyfriend to climb up there and strap it down, I can't afford to put a roof on that barn.
So I believe that we actually found a possibility to get you a grant for historical barn preservation, actually.
So,
That can help with that.
in all honesty, all of this stuff is just what they added on to make it sound worse. It started with a piece of tin, and they didn't like where he parked his lawnmower trailer up by the goddamn barn.
Can we stop swearing?
When they started yelling at his guys and videotaping them, he went over to try to talk to them and try to resolve it. They wouldn't even talk to us.
we didn't even know you were there.
I knocked on the door, I spoke to some of your customers, tried to find you.
We're
No response?
running a business here in the morning. I don't know if you know that, but it's an actual business that we have to operate.
You know, I think we need to move on.
Yeah, I agree.
I know I've got a lot of work to do on this. Will, I think you need, we all need to do some more work, but
I think the big thing is what are actually the A&R regulations for
residential.
No, for a scrapyard, and does this qualify as one under their definition,
exactly.
which I suspect it doesn't.
It's transportation. It's
Right,
not
it's not, a scrapyard would be where junk vehicles
Well,
are stored.
yeah.
Alright, so why
That's
don't
the
you,
way you feel, but we need to find that out. I mean,
Fair
'cause,
enough.
why don't you look into it, Will, and you guys look into yours, you do your stuff. And there'll be a meeting
28th, I think.
28th.
Yeah.
Everything just stays as is till the 28th.
Yep.
While you're talking to your lawyer, maybe you can just check on the permits.
Just a question, will the town be liable if someone gets hurt on the road after all these discussions and after bringing all of this to your attention?
It's a state highway, and if you've got a major issue with it, you go to the state with it. It's not a town responsibility. They own a right of way up through there, and it's up to them. To my knowledge, they told somebody else that years ago they'd gone through and videotaped all accesses to the state highway because the person was trying to claim two, and they only allowed them to have one. So they probably got a videotape of where accesses are and aren't. And you've got a barn sitting there, a stone wall on the lower side, so it's got to have access someplace.
Yeah, and to the point of liability insurance, our town has very sturdy liability insurance. I'm assuming you guys do too, right?
Just in case someone dies, that's great, yeah.
Yeah, we don't want
No.
that to happen, of course, but I think what Denny's saying is that, we don't have any jurisdiction on the state road. Not that we shouldn't look into it, as we said we're going to, not that we shouldn't continue to see what we can do. And I think there was a great comment that you just made, so I don't know your name. David, thank you. About he gave a possible solution of where you could possibly move that. So that's a start in the right direction. So not ignoring it, we're hearing it, but can't solve it tonight, unfortunately.
Do you want me to look into V-Trans too, or is someone on the board want to do that?
We've already talked about trains.
Would it be better if you parked them on the green and then you wouldn't have to worry about it?
Is that a serious question, or are you just
Yes,
trying to be
no,
a
that's
wise ass?
serious. If he can't park them there, where can he park?
You can get a commercial place of land and apply for a permit and run that safely out of that space.
Okay, I think we're gonna move on.
So next meeting, have your information all you can get.
Yeah, and Will, I think you ought to check with V-Trans.
Patty, can we put on the next meeting agenda as a follow-up on this and report back? Yeah. Thank you.
The one with tax report.
Can I sit up here?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See you.
come on up.
I need a short chair, so my feet reach the ground.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't know how much detail you guys want.
Listen, at the last meeting, but you guys had some specific questions, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a question about, the last item on that.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Just, we can't, no one can hear us.
On the, sorry,
Let's go by number, right?
Yeah.
are you talking about on the report, the last
On
one?
the report, the last one, 233-00.
Okay,
Is that, any
okay,
color on that? Just hasn't done it?
nothing, and there's nothing.
No
What-
conversation.
Have you had any conversation?
I have no way to get a hold of him except for mail.
Okay,
And I mean, I actually did go to one place, which I'm gonna talk to you about, to go to the house. And there was nobody there, but I did talk to the lawyer about a couple of things. And he said,
our lawyer.
yes, and
Yeah.
he said, you don't belong doing that, going to somebody's house.
Right.
So.
Okay,
But what I did do is I pulled up reports to look at history, which kind of tells a story.
Yep.
And in 22 and 23, it was no problem. In 24, it was ultimately paid in February. Since, you know, it was due in October, it was paid in February. But there's been nothing at all this time.
okay.
And actually, I asked Kim about that, and she said that's very unusual for this person.
Okay. And then going up 1, 2, 3, 4 to 038-00. I thought that was
038.
038-00, yeah.
So 1, 2, 3,
Count up.
4, 5.
5 up.
2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, okay.
Got it.
I'm looking at the whole number. Well, that's one of the things. I was gonna go through the list and ask you about some things too.
Oh, is that one of your questions?
Yeah,
Okay.
Perfect.
Kim, do you have, is Kim here?
Yeah, I'm here.
this is a FEMA buyout.
Yeah, that's,
And
I
you're
thought it
right.
was all done.
Well, I'm told to get, that it needs to be gotten rid of or adjusted, but you guys have to okay that, basically.
Okay,
To the
We-
Board of
we
we
Civil
need to
Authority.
discuss with Kim.
Pardon me?
We haven't seen any paperwork.
Okay, so you need to ask for the paperwork? I don't know how
So
that
it
works.
wouldn't it go to the Board of Abatement though?
Yeah,
I
It would be the Board of Abatement.
I took it I spoke to the chair of the Board of Civil Authority and Abatement, and there's no rule under either of those for these instances, the buyouts.
Right.
So it comes back to you as to how you want us to handle it. And the only way I can affect a write-off is to write it off against current taxes. So that affects this year's pool of money that we draw from.
But I don't think we have a big, what are the other options?
Well, we don't have another option because it's
Right.
FEMA buyout. We as a town have to take over and we take
Yeah.
responsibility for that,
Correct.
for
Well,
that.
the town now owns it, right?
The town now owns it, so,
Correct.
so
We do?
it's, yes.
I don't think it's been transferred to us.
It's not,
yet.
Yeah, I
but
think
we
it
will,
has.
if we will.
The deeds
Yes.
are in the town of Weston.
Yeah.
Oh, are they?
So,
Yeah.
yeah, so we already own it, so, you know, that then falls onto us to maintain, do something with it and absorb the
Absorb
back
the
taxes
taxes.
that are not there.
And the same applies for 090172. It's 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah,
5.
yeah.
Same thing, FEMA buyout, and so the same thing would apply.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you guys need to,
We need a board of abatement to do that.
But the Board of
Yeah, but-
Abatement Chair has said there's no category under which it would
Yeah,
Yeah,
fall.
the Board of Abatement, they won't bring it in front of it because it doesn't meet the statutes.
Right, exactly.
so they want you guys
They want
to
us to
decide.
just take care of it.
to
Be the
take
mean
care of
guy.
it. Okay, which leads me to a little bit of an aside here. Because what Kim just talked about making the adjustment, if you like say, give the go ahead to write off the
These two.
taxes.
Mhm.
I'm confused because I was originally told that the listers would make these kind of adjustments. And the listers told me that the treasurer would do it. And then Kim told me last time I asked her that I would do it, but I don't know how to do it.
This is how.
So-
The bottom line is,
This is it.
the
This is
bottom
what we
line
do.
is,
Learn
the
what
select
you
board will probably write both places off.
Yeah.
And Kim, when she figures the tax list, should subtract the valuation of both places to put her taxes more in line. And we can put that on the agenda for the 25th.
28.
28.
Oh, August. 28. Yeah. I've looked at
That's
that.
fine. There
So-
are reasons where it's a lister issue, which is, there's one on this list for that.
Say
There
that
are
again, please.
sometimes, there are changes which are done by the listers, which brought us to one of your categories as to why it should be a lister correction. There's one of those on your list.
Right.
Sometimes it's the treasurer and sometimes it's the collector delinquent taxes. So it just varies on the situation. They're all legitimate responses.
Stu.
And we'll bring you a memo for the
I don't know
next
what
meeting.
those are. And I don't know what those are.
That's okay, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
You just said
Yeah.
you'd bring a list at the next meeting. Is that what you said, Kim?
Yes, for your approval on write-offs.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there another question before I ask questions?
I think so.
No,
Is that all on the June report? Is there supposed to June report?
they're exactly the
They're-
same.
They're almost.
They're the same.
What's your question?
Well, except for the $750 that Glenn Nelson pays every month.
There's no names.
Okay, so what's your questions?
There is on the list. What is that? That's at the end. Okay, there's a couple of ones that need adjustments. I was told this by Kim, but I don't know why. But that's,
Which number?
it's 100, 169.10,
Mhm.
Heinz.
No names.
No names.
No names.
Keep away
I
from
can't
names.
say names.
We don't mention names.
Okay,
We've done it twice.
not against the law, though.
No.
It
Yeah,
is.
Okay,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
I didn't,
It's
that's
our
why
policy.
It's our-
okay. I did
Okay,
not know that.
got it. Okay, 100, 169.10. Got it. So that one,
That one,
right.
for some reason, it's
Right,
always
we
said,
talked about
fix,
that,
get
yep.
rid of, adjust.
Kim, is that something that's gonna be on the list for adjustments, do you suspect?
I don't know. I don't know why it's out there, and it may be that they paid and the payment came in right after the penalty and interest were added. So we'll have to look, but there are adjustment features that I can show Gretchen how to do, because typically from the time I've been here, I didn't touch things once they were delinquent. That's
Okay,
the reason I
so
tend
that
to.
one you guys can look at together?
Yes,
Cool.
Okay, the next one then, I talked to the listers about this and it just appeared in March on the list. It wasn't there before. They don't know why. There
Is
was,
that 124-00?
yes. And so it appeared. I don't know why. I asked the question. And Kim asked Linda. We haven't been able to get an answer. And I've just been adding interest every month to it. So it's growing. And
So it is, there was a change. There are two parcels. One had land on it. One was supposed to have all the land. The assessor consultant made a change between these two parcels, and the value on one went down and the value on another went up. So the one on that went up now looks like it's delinquent. I've given them the documentation and asked that they reverse whatever they did, and the assessor can't figure it out for whatever reason.
When was the change made?
The change was made back in March, and I don't know what precipitated the change being made, except they did perhaps try to get all the land and everything on one, the two houses and all the land on one tax bill. And in doing that, they may have altered the values, but we still have two separate tax bills for them. So I don't understand why this took place and why it can't be fixed. And it's a major source of frustration that it can't just be undone.
And you asked them if they said they couldn't undo it, right? Is that what I'm hearing?
They didn't know how.
And they don't know. And all I know is I was told 4 changes were made. There was no impact to tax bills. I didn't have to do anything. And the next thing I know, this one has ended up on the delinquent tax bill. So
Which assessor did the changes?
it's our paid consultant.
Yeah, it was 3/20/26. And since then, there's been interest.
So they'll be in on Thursday, and hopefully we can ask them again.
Okay.
Okay. Then the others, there's others, well, you're using the last 3 numbers, 15288. That's a case of they paid the October bill in December, so it's outstanding interest on what was left outstanding in the principal. And I write with all these people every month. I send them the notice and I handwrite on it a note, please contact me. And nobody does.
Okay. But then that's actual real interest that needs to be paid by that.
Oh, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
Unless they come see whoever and want to do something about that. With that 158, he was paying 500 and I got him to pay at 750. They're in the process of trying to sell their other home. They've moved to Weston full time, but he's very good about communicating and he gives something.
He's working with you.
Okay.
Yes.
That's great.
So,
Great.
and once he gets it, the house, he'll pay it off. Another one for fix and adjustment is this consolidated communication, which is Fidium. Now it's Fidium, and it's, the listers gave me a piece of paper that says it's inactive. It's an inactive parcel, and it's what do we got? $177 roughly, but this, they sold it, and so you're gonna have to decide about writing that off, or just what do we do? What do I do?
As far as for 23300,
Okay, give me a,
the bottom,
oh, okay,
Last one.
okay.
as far as that goes, have you read, you've sent letters and,
Oh, always,
Oh,
every
okay.
month,
okay,
yeah,
all right,
yeah.
okay.
And I was gonna get to same thing, 10800.
Mhm.
When I pulled up the report, they always paid every year, and this year they're just not, for whatever reason. And then also I'm working with the the 11600 and which is the post office, which is pending, there's a pending sale on that. And the other one is the 12799. And they're trying to sell the house. The man passed away and there's no money and they have to sell the property before they can pay the taxes. But if they sell the post office, that'll get paid off. I did get,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I did get a phone call in May from a paralegal saying he wanted a tax figure, and I explained that if it wasn't paid before June, it would, blah, blah, blah. And there's been a glitch. I got a hold of the owner or the wife, and she said they're working on it, but there's a glitch on the post office. So
Alright,
that's.
So they're working with you.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, and the others, they just haven't paid. But the two I wanted to talk to you about is the one at the top. I just found out that this person passed away.
Yeah.
So I didn't know it. I've been sending the notices to the address. And I haven't been getting them back. They haven't been returned. So I emailed with Kim about it, and she had I found an email and I got an email address. I talked to the family yesterday, and there's a whole debacle about that too. But they're gonna try, I sent them our policy and a letter of agreement, and I figured out in 12 months it would be like a certain amount. They said they couldn't quite pay that amount. I said, just pay anything, do something at this point. And call me about the letter of agreement, and but I didn't talk to anybody till literally yesterday.
Okay, so it's in the process now.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's in the process.
Okay, that's good.
Now, the big one is number 600-77. That's the one where I went up to knock at the door and decided it wasn't a good idea. It's
I'm
I
not
don't see
finding.
that.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Oh,
5, fifth one down.
okay,
Okay, got it.
yeah.
Got it.
607-00,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yeah,
good,
yeah.
good.
Yeah, that's in an estate.
Really?
I believe so.
Well, first of all, I have no idea about that. Nobody ever told me that. How would I find out about that? I have sent something to them over and over and over again. I have been on the internet looking for this guy. I have
Well,
looked and looked and looked, and I finally talked to the lawyer about it, figuring he could send a demand letter and get something back legally as to what's going on.
I'm sorry. I have the wrong person. I apologize. So just ignore everything I've said in the last 3 minutes. Probably.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so you're working with a lawyer on that.
So, well, but what I need from you guys is he sent me an engagement letter. He suggested, I explained the whole thing, and that's when he said, you don't belong doing all that stuff. And so he said, what I suggest is, he asked me if the criteria were fulfilled, because he hasn't paid in 2 years, because I think he's deceased, but I couldn't find an obituary, I couldn't find anything. So he said, he owes over $1,500 and for over a year, which is true. He hasn't paid in 2 years. So, and I've heard nothing from them. It's crickets. So I have a letter here, an engagement letter, and the deal is it's $50 to do it. I don't know how I go about doing that.
Doesn't the town pay for the?
I hope so.
I think so.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think we ought to
Just forward.
sign that engagement letter.
Okay, well, he wants
Is it
me
only-
to sign it,
Yep.
but I have to get your approval to sign
Well,
it.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so I'll do that, and then he can go ahead. And also, one of the other criteria is you have to offer him a payment plan. Well, I've sent them the paperwork and I've not heard anything, so we fulfilled all that. So I will just move forward with that.
Perfect.
And that's it. I probably had more detail than you wanted to.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Do you need a motion to tell her she can accept that?
I make a motion to have Gretchen sign the engagement letter
With the understanding.
with the
town
understanding that
will pay the fee.
the town will pay the fee
For parcel number.
for parcel number 06007700.
Can you repeat that?
060077-00.
Thank you. I got it.
And then
And
also,
I second, you got that, Patty?
also if it goes to a tax sale,
Oh, okay.
There's a lot of paperwork.
Yeah.
yeah, there's a lot of paperwork, but then he charges 15% of that. That's.
Yeah.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I
We'll move on to number 8. Debbie, you're.
Thank you, Gretchen.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to tell you that the library is going to have its grand opening on August 8th.
Fantastic.
And we are very fortunate because all these gentlemen that are, and ladies, that are sitting down there, Weston Volunteer Fire Department have offered to help us with traffic and movement and flow of people. So I'm here to tell you what we're doing and asking if we need any kind of approval from you. I don't know. We're going to actually close off our driveway for that day because there's going to be a tent from my country store in our parking area. And we're going to have people park around the green. We've also talked to the Old Mill Yard. They'll let us park there, and the Vermont Country Store. It's going to be late in the afternoon, 3 to 5, so it's not like it's the height of the day in terms of tourists and things like that. And the fire department is working with Jean Palma, who's in charge of the site location. And we will have parking for dignitaries. We've invited our congressional people and the governor and stuff, but who knows if they will come. But if they do, our neighbors on the other side said we can park there. So if we have any dignitaries, we would let the fire department know, and those cars could pass on through and go to the neighbors. Similarly, if there are people who have ADA concerns or issues, they can either be dropped off in the front or they can park in the neighbor's parking area. So we're going to try to have traffic be at a minimum. We don't really know how many people that we expect, but anyway. So I'm here to tell you and to find out if there's anything more we need to do. Okay.
Aside from your driveway, are you anticipating any other closures, any byway closures? Or it will still be open?
I think so, unless you think that it should be, I don't know, I'm asking.
Yeah, Debbie, we're doing a walkthrough with it's Gene Palmer. We're doing a walkthrough tomorrow morning with Brian Lundberg and whoever else he's bringing with the fire department, just to fine tune everything and get their advice on what needs to get done as far as any closures or barriers or anything.
And I apologize, I didn't know you were up there. So I would have let you talk.
Debbie, have you looked into parking some cars up by the church on the hill?
No, but we can.
Because there, you can, I remember in years past for various events, you can park probably at least 20 cars there. I think it's kind of
in the back.
It's slopey, but in the back and on the, you drive around the building, but you'd need somebody to sort of direct traffic.
Well, Jean, you can sort of think about that and decide whether we need to
We have several considerations in place. The Vermont Country Store has been very grateful as far as letting us know that there's usually ample parking at that time. There's not should not be a lot of cars in the Vermont Country Store parking lot, as well as the mill parking lot will slowly be closing up towards the end of the day for Saturday, even though it'll be open. But we'll have Jim will definitely look at that also.
Yeah, just a thought. Yeah.
And everybody in town will be getting an invitation in the next few days, so everybody's welcome.
Very exciting.
Sounds great. Excited.
Thank you.
Thank you, fire department, because we couldn't be doing it without you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're here.
Agenda.
Yeah.
Can you share with me?
All right, number
9.
10,
9
on the
bylaws.
bylaws and stuff.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, everyone. I'm
How
here
are
if you have any questions.
Perfect. Thank you.
I was reading through there in one spot. I can't tell you exactly where it was, but it said something about sewer permits and this and that. The state controls all sewer permits. The town doesn't have anything to do with it. So why is it in our zoning laws?
Yeah, and just to clarify, so the public hearing that you're holding this evening is just on some minor technical updates that Wyndham Regional worked with the Planning Commission on. So in working on those updates, we didn't change anything related to wastewater permitting requirements, so that might be a provision in the existing bylaws, but at least for this hearing and what we were working on, we didn't make any changes to that. Just one other thing quickly to mention, as the select board knows, we're going to be working on a larger, more comprehensive update to the zoning bylaws, which has already started. And so that's certainly something we can look at with the larger update process. But you're correct that the state, the Department of Environmental Conservation permits on-site private wastewater systems, so that the town isn't issuing permits for septic systems. So if that's in there, we can take a look at that.
We, the town, have people on the planning commission, and they're supposed to put forth the interest of the town. But yet the state gets Wyndham Regional involved with insert their wishes. Why should that be? I mean, we have people on the planning commission who live here and basically know what we want, but yet the state is sticking their finger in, trying to dictate to us what they.
Yeah, I understand the concerns. You know, the updates that we were working on with the Planning Commission, these are not requirements from the state, at least for these minor technical updates we were working on. When we do the larger zoning update project, there are some revisions we need to make based on changes to statute, to your point, Denny. So in Vermont, municipalities are, they're created by the state. And so just the way Vermont state laws work, towns can have zoning bylaws, which Weston has adopted, but the state does have requirements in terms of what you need to include in your zoning and things you cannot do within your zoning. And it's just the nature of how government is set up in the state of Vermont.
Anybody else any questions on this?
I think our fire department team has some, you guys have some questions?
Was there something about
The height.
the height?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's hear.
I mean, do I have it right? There's a 35-foot maximum and you've only got 30-foot ladders and.
No,
Is that-
they're changing the definition of 35 foot that the town currently has. Currently, the town is lowest point to highest point, 35 feet, and that's it. And they want to change it to half the height of the roof, 35 feet. So that way you could build a structure that's up to 65 foot high with that designation, or with that. If you design it right, and architects can really do things like that. I drew a sketch that showed it like 58 foot high.
And the new one is from lowest to the mid roof, is that right?
Correct.
That's correct.
And we cannot cover anything over 35 feet.
And as he says that, it's a 35-foot ladder, but when you extend it out, it has to go out about a third of the height, which is about 11.5 feet. That only makes the working height 32 feet. And my thoughts on this, so many of the houses, the view's gonna be off that side of the house where the drop is. The fire may be in the front of the house, we can fight the fire, but the kids and the grandkids are in the backside where we can't get a ladder to the rescue. You know, our job is first life, then property. And if we can't get a ladder to the people that need to be rescued, I don't need to tell you what's gonna happen.
Yeah, no,
And we don't want, as firefighters, we don't wanna be the top of a 35-foot ladder working. Most of, well, I don't do emergency anymore, but if you look at us, we're pretty old people and we're doing the job that needs to be done here. And we
you
don't,
guys are looking pretty young to me.
we don't need to take any more risk. And we're asking to seriously consider this, that we need to work with and we need to be safe. There's no fire that's worth one iota of an injury or somebody not coming home. We can let the buildings burn down all the time, but as long as all the firefighters go home safely to their families, that's the most important thing. And a 35 over this new length may cause that not to happen.
Getting the residents out, that's another plus. Do you have anything to say, Chief?
Just that, if this passes, I feel that any time a permit is issued for a building that would fall within this category, that we should be notified of the homeowner's name and address so that we can send out a letter to them and a copy to the town stating that we cannot provide adequate fire, life safety protection.
Where is that new rule in these?
Yeah.
If you go six pages back from the last page.
So that would be,
We're
yeah,
just
and
talking
the,
about building height, right? It's
Correct.
building height. So,
right.
And I guess, Matt, that's because I heard what you just said, but I don't understand this terminology all that well. So are we reading that terminology the correct way? To say that we're going from, you said from 35 feet to, did you say
If you had
60
it,
feet?
if you had it 35 feet, it'd be right to here, that's the height of the
And
building.
that's what you're saying the current is.
If you, that's current, if you did the average of the height, you could build a steep roof and then even have a floor up here above 35 feet. And I can't remember, and that's 58 feet high, and an architect would go crazy with that.
Okay, go ahead, Matt,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, no, yeah. So just to Yes, just to confirm, so the change was made in the definition section of the bylaws. So currently, as has been stated, currently the definition measures building height from the lowest elevation point to the highest point of the roof. And the change that was recommended by the Planning Commission was for a pitched roof to measure at the midpoint of that pitched roof. And as the point has been raised by staff from the fire department, that would, if a building is designed in such a way that could increase the height to the top of the ridge line
Sorry.
significantly. So
Paragraph, because there's nothing on that
It's not
page.
listed in sections, paragraphs.
Here,
It's under definitions.
it's
Okay.
under,
On the
it's
third
under
page of
definitions, Article 8,
You go to definitions alphabetically. Sorry, Matt.
Article
No,
8
that's
definitions,
and then on the next page,
affordable housing.
keep going, the next
Bar.
one.
Keep the next page
Frontline.
after affordable housing.
Building
It's an
height,
alteration,
building
building
height.
height, yeah,
You got it.
building
Yeah.
front line.
So what I'm trying to figure out is, can we write this in a way? Can we revise this in a way that, you know?
Keep it the
addresses-
same as it is, 35 feet
Right.
from lowest to
There's no
highest.
reason
So-
to change that.
I think we need to understand why they put this in, like what was the, I mean, I'm agreeing with what you're saying, but we need to understand why they. Matt, do you have any insight as to why they put this in and what the intention? is just for
yeah,
a Certain
I
type
think
of
the
roof?
yeah, I mean, I think the intention, and certainly I appreciate the concerns from the fire department, and it was not something I had considered just in working with the planning commission on that. So for the planning commission, I think the intention was just to just kind of recognizing that for many structures, those are going to be built with pitched roofs, and to allow a structure with a pitched roof to have a little additional height versus a structure with a flat roof. So it's just to kind of make more accommodations for structures with pitched roofs. Because right now, if you have a flat roof, you can go to 35 feet. But if you have a pitched roof, you might be constrained by that 35-foot maximum building height if you're measuring to the top of the ridge line. So I think it was just to try to create a little more accommodation just for just from like a building design perspective.
So was your concern that in that additional space, they could actually have, like a room or something, that idea? Because
Accessible living space.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what if they
How-
wrote it
you
so
couldn't
that,
Get to that through a roof, you'd have to use an axe. Unless they were dormers.
Don't worry about how we get to it, we just can't get to it.
Right.
so Matt, was the intention that this was never gonna be livable space, but it was just kind of making an accommodation for the roof, or, I'm just asking. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it would be like an attic.
Yeah, you know, our discussions, I guess, didn't get into that level of detail. I mean, it could still allow for habitable space within kind of the eaves or
Right.
within the pitch of the roof.
So that is
Yeah,
their
the one
concern.
Andrew has.
Right.
I understand.
There's something else to remember too, even if it's not a living space up there, if the fire's working, we should be doing vertical ventilation, which means we have to get on the roof and cut a hole so big to let the heat and the smoke and everything out the roof and vent out that way. We can't do it.
Yeah.
Fire continues
You
to
can't
burn
get to
inside.
it, you can't get to it.
Because the
So,
ladder only goes so high.
so how about we,
Why don't we
approve
just say
this,
that the way it
except,
was?
leave it the way it was,
Yeah.
you know, just approve these with the exception of the building height, and we leave that the way it was before.
And we asked them to come back to that if they need to come back to that
And
in
then we
another
can-
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that way, we move forward, but we don't screw you guys up.
Yeah.
And-
That's what I would recommend.
Who enforces this? Because we have buildings built higher than 35 feet right now.
Oh, yeah, well,
And they don't, nobody enforces it.
The zoning
There's
administrator.
sheds on property lines and nobody enforces it. Or setbacks.
The people who changed the rules, the planning and zoning,
So it's the planning commission that's rewriting the bylaws that were written in
but
the
they answer
seventies.
to you.
They do.
So they changed it without any foreknowledge.
They never
Well,
changed
They
it.
never changed it, that's why we're talking about it
It has
now.
not been changed.
Yeah,
But
nothing's been
if-
changed
if-
yet.
If the fire department say, listen, we can't we can't handle that.
Then we listen to the fire department.
Right.
That's why we're having this.
Surely
That's why we're having this discussion.
Yeah, then we listen to the fire department.
Right, that's what we're doing.
Right, surely.
But we're
just go
gonna go
and
back and also ask them what the intention was and all that, just so we
Right.
understand where
Yeah,
they were
but
coming from,
we
but,
can,
right.
so
We
we've
can
got a
approve it
new
with that.
set
Yep.
of bylaws that work better. And with the exception of this building height, which we're not gonna change.
Yep.
And then we'll discuss it some more, and, you know, you guys will be totally involved in
Deb?
whatever,
Hi.
sorry,
No, I'm just having my hand up for what you're
yeah,
done.
oh, I'll stop talking.
And Matt, Debbie Granquist, so just hello, and correct me if
Okay.
I'm wrong. Almost every town has a 35-foot building height. You know, it's not an unusual thing to have. The devil is in the details of, and Leo and I spoke about this the other day of, you know, where do you measure that 35 feet from? Do you measure from the ground? Do you measure from the lower ground? Where do you measure it? I think that since the Planning Commission is planning to do, with Matt's help, like a deep dive rewrite of all of the zoning regulations, this would be a good thing to look at, because as I said, unfortunately, that's, if you look at most every other town, they're all 35 feet. And you also, if you look, and Leo and I did have this conversation, in order to get like 2 stories and a roof, you sort of actually need 35 feet. So it's, but again, it all depends upon where you are measuring that from. So that's just
Right.
my
But with this,
input.
yeah,
Our rule is right now, the way it reads, lowest point to highest point. That's not hard to figure out. I'm sure you guys are educated. You can measure from the lowest to the highest.
that's what we're,
Nobody's doing it here in Weston.
well,
And other towns are just what they're trying to promote it to.
right, well, what we're proposing is going to that old, reverting to the old wording, which you just quoted, lowest to highest, 35 feet, and then we're gonna discuss this
But I mean,
more
the
when,
planning,
you know,
planning commission.
yeah, the planning commission is, and Matt Backler, because, you know, we're gonna be rewriting all our rules, but for the moment, I'm gonna move that we approve these interim
Changes.
changes or whatever,
Amendments.
with the exception of the building height, and then we leave building height the way it was before, which is 35 feet, lowest to highest.
I second.
Does that work for you guys?
It works for us, but can I just add one thing? It's going back to the planning commission. So if there is a further discussion on rewriting that,
Undoubtedly, there will be,
so then.
and you
please
will be
notify us.
very involved.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, because, I mean, you guys are doing the work, I mean, that's.
May I add one more thing?
Yes.
This puts it on the ground level, but driveways in the snow, we still have to be able to get in there. Or the 35-foot ladder is moot if we can't get an engine in there. And we've
Well,
seen some driveways, so it's something else to think about.
Yeah, but that's,
I hear you.
that's not, yeah, I hear you, that's a great point. I don't, that's good point. We'll keep it in mind, but for the moment, got a motion on the floor, I think.
It's been seconded.
Seconded.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
So good point.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Will, I will get you a clean copy of the
Bill's not here.
zoning bylaw changes, okay? Just so you have that.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
We're at
We're-
11.
Oh, we're
We just
11.
did 10.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Budget comparison, anybody got questions for Kim, or you want to table that till the next meeting?
So let's table it.
No,
Yeah, I think, didn't we say it was gonna be the following meeting?
wait,
We were gonna report.
Very
budgeting
much.
comparison.
Do we have that?
You're
No.
tabling it?
We're
Do we
tabling
have
I
it.
didn't, I wasn't given.
Okay.
No, we'll have to table it to the
Is
28th.
Kim still here?
I am, I'm still here.
Kim, we were gonna wait on that one, right? The budget
Right.
comparison?
Right.
Okay, next
Thank you.
meeting. Got it,
Right.
thank you.
You're welcome.
So go next, so it should go in the next meeting?
Next meeting.
While Kim's still here, all flags have been ordered half staff until Saturday at 6 o'clock. So I noticed that I meant to stop and I didn't get a chance to stop, but our flag out front should be half staff here.
Okay. We didn't get a notice.
Yeah. It's out there, but I.
No, they,
It's-
yeah,
it's
no,
on
they
Google
usually
Camera.
send me an email, but I didn't get one. That's right.
All right, the minutes of the meeting on June 23rd.
Wasn't here for this one.
We haven't read these. Has anybody read them?
I did, because I wasn't here, so.
I did. I didn't see anything that needed to be changed.
Okay, so I'm, based on that, maybe I'm gonna move approval.
A second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you so much.
Yeah, payroll.
It looks pretty straightforward.
I did
I
not
moved
see
it.
payroll yet.
Oh, you didn't
Sorry.
see it yet? Here we go. Here you go. You want to look at mine?
Yes, please, thank you.
Do you have one, Jim?
I looked at the digital copy, but I did
Handed
not.
it to me for sure, and I don't know what happened to it.
Yeah, I saw the digital copy, but
Paper had to kill 20.
paper is
So
different.
I'll move,
Katie, here you go. Yeah.
I'll move approval of the
Thank you.
payroll check warrant report number 13 in the amount of $13,545.41.
Second.
Say that number again.
$13,545.41.
It was check warrant number 13.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Who seconded it?
I did.
Move approval of accounts payable check warrant report number 13. Amount of $73,675.73.
A second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And we're on number 14A, website committee update.
All right.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Website committee update is that we are still accepting bids. People keep coming through and want to work with us, which is really exciting. And so it gives us more perspective on what we can be offered for the best price. And we'll be able to circle back on the 28th with that.
Okay, culvert replacement, Route 100. I didn't see paperwork here for that.
We had it from last year. I mean, last week. I have it right here. What number are we on? Sorry.
14B.
14B.
I haven't heard from the guy who sent out the bids, that's for next summer, summer 2027, and they started out saying that thought they could do it in 5 or 7 days, and they were having trouble getting anybody to bid on it. You guys know where that culvert is? It's past the Coho, and the road and past Foster, and the road steeps up a little bit, and there's a culvert right there. So they're looking to replace that culvert. I think they're gonna do a box culvert or something. Anyway, and they sent the bid package to us for our comments, and our comment was, closing that for 5 or 7 or 8, or, the closure is a real problem in town because, that's, you have to go up Johnson Hill and around. I mean, it's just a real pain. Or, going into Old County to Biker Hill.
And it prevents the Coho from being in business for over a week.
Yeah, so.
Isn't that this year?
It's
No,
it's scheduled for next year, for
Next summer.
2027.
Yeah.
I think, not by you guys, this year.
I
No.
don't think that's right.
No, it's
Okay.
for the following year.
Yeah.
By the Coho.
Oh,
No, it's for the following year because we're still accepting bid, they're still accepting bids, and so they want us to extend the amount of time that they will allow them to be, like, shut that road off. And so
Well,
we're kind of coming back and being like, it's a hard no.
Well, the hardest no we can give them.
As that we can give them,
Because,
as far as
they're
bids
gonna,
go.
they're gonna take the time they need, but we just, in my letter, I explained that it was really important to the businesses in town and all our citizenry, not to mention tourists and everybody else, to, make it as quick as you can. Just say, I'll finish it up. But they're offering, an incentive to get it done closer to 7 days, but I don't think 5 days is on the table anymore. So, and I haven't heard from the guy yet, so that's my full report.
I just have a question. I know it was last year, the year before, Taylor Farm had the same thing for the cow tunnel. It was a box culvert. They did that in 3 days. I understand the topology and geography may be somewhat different on Route 100 versus Route 30 over there. But, has anyone talked to the Taylor Farm folks or the work crew that did that replacement?
I didn't even know that they did that, so it's good to know.
It was like a weekend and they were back up and running.
Yeah, I think one of the issues with this culvert is that unlike the Taylor Farm situation, there's a deep ditch where the thing runs through, so you can't have, there's no way to get around. Once you open up the culvert, you can't do one lane and then the other lane. Or do both lanes and have traffic go around. But that's what I think.
They did
both lanes in 3 days.
Yeah, they closed Route 30 for 3 days, replaced the entire thing.
Yeah, well,
11. I'm just saying, it might be worth talking to them to get some insights. To shorten that time.
I know there's a lot more traffic.
I wonder what the difference of the scale of the project was too.
Yeah, roads are about the same size. Like I said, the topology is a little different. Taylor Farm's much flatter and smoother.
Definitely something to ask about.
I'll call him.
It just popped into my head because I know
It's a good idea.
they knocked that out so quick.
Yeah.
You may have some insights.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Good point.
Tax rate change. In the spring, the voters approved $672,000 so they can get $3 million for the dam project. But there was not one word said about how we were going to repay it. When we did the Church on the Hill project, I think around 268,000, we spread the payments over 4 years. It's not carved in stone. I got a rough figure that a penny on the tax rate raises $36,000. And so you're a little over 17 cents to pay back the 672.
So do we start paying it back this year and put 4.25 cents on the tax rate? And start paying it back. There's been some talk about possible grant coming or whatever, but that would be like counting your chickens before they're hatched. If the grant comes through, the rest of the payments would be reduced. But you can't kick this can down the road. You gotta pay the bill sometimes. Yeah.
There was nothing in the language of what was voted on in February that the town was gonna foot the bill for the $672,000. Which we need to go back to the voters for this. The town voted to accept a grant. There's nothing in there about who's paying the bill. And you're talking about raising funds, you're talking about raising taxes, nobody voted for that. This should go back.
I thought it was pretty clear.
Yeah.
That's my recollection. I don't mean to.
Yeah, that was my thought too.
I
Ken
actually,
was like.
I actually
Together
think
with
you ought to
evidence
read
of
the
other
minutes.
Resources.
Just read the minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, go back and read the minutes. I don't know what are in the minutes, but
yeah,
that's
What
where
one is together with evidence of other resources. It doesn't say anything about anyone.
What are you reading? I'm sorry, I just didn't
I'm
hear
reading
you.
the warning.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just didn't hear what you said because people were talking.
I'm
Sorry.
reading the warning from the meeting in February. What people voted on was to enter an agreement with the state of Vermont to accept the award of a community development block grant, which together with evidence of other resources will be used for upsizing Lawrence Hill Bridge. And there's nothing in here about raising taxes. I think you need to go back to the voters where you do that before you start thinking about taking the money out of funds that the voters put the money in the funds.
So my memory is not clear on that, but my memory is clear that in the meeting, we definitely spoke very clearly about the 670,000 and that people, we were asking the town to vote for that. And so that was pretty clear in that vote.
And the
I have
town-
to Deb's point,
Yeah, but
to
I
Deb's
would've went
point,
if I'd have
to
read
Deb's point.
If the 675 was in there, I might have went, but I didn't go because they said it's just a grant money. Weren't no one on my tax.
The people that were at the meeting, we made it really clear. I will go back and read it, Deb. To your point, it's a good point.
I don't actually know what is in.
Yeah, I'm just saying, it's great, it's a good suggestion.
And my thought is that we're operating under the budget that we voted on.
Right.
The 26 budget. And it seems to me that the right time to address this would be in our budget meetings in January 24. Because,
January
we can't, I'm sorry, 27, yeah.
Yeah.
And and on that note, I would suggest that we start doing our budget meetings a few months before. So it's not rushed in 3 days. And we can really, and that's just a
That's a
thought.
good idea.
I just think we just need more time. We need more time to really think about what this town needs, instead of the regular stuff that we've done and just filling in numbers to a grid that's, slotted in for these things. We're adapting and adjusting and.
Select board sent a letter to the state back in March confirming that the town has the financial capacity to cover $670,000 as verified by documentation provided from the town's financial institution. What $670,000 does the state think we have?
At the time, there were those who figured that we would borrow from our existing funds and then pay them back. Nothing was concrete, but I believe the letter stated to the state that we could come up with the money.
Right, but what $670,000 does the state think we have?
The state only thinks that we have the ability to raise the money, Ken.
Based on documentation from the financial institutions.
Right, well,
What money does the state think we have?
I can't give you a better answer than that.
Aaron.
If I
remember correctly, the discussion was, we need to see what the actual amount we get versus the actual cost. And then I believe it's voted that we take it for them to, isn't that correct?
No, no,
No.
What I think you may be saying is that if the total project costs exceed 3,672,000, which is what the town voted on, then we have to go, this is after we get the price estimates, after we've decided on the designs, which probably won't happen until first quarter of, or the very tippy end of either the first quarter of 2028 or the very end of 2027. We'll have some better estimates. And then, or we'll have some things we can put out to bid, sorry. Well, and then when we get the bids back, which will be deep into 2028, at that point, if it looks like the costs are going to exceed 3,672,000, then we absolutely go back to the voters before we begin the project. And at that point, we'll have spent way less than the 3 million, because it's just design and engineering. It's not, it's not building stuff.
I thought, the way I understood the meeting, that there was a deadline date to apply for the grant, and we shouldn't lose that deadline date. So we should go for the free money.
Correct.
But I thought, once we knew what the total project was gonna be, then it was gonna go back to the residents to say,
Only,
do you wanna go forward?
no,
Knowing, as Denny had said at the meeting, this is gonna be your grandkids and your kids and your kids' kids and everybody else in your family. But I remember it was like, there's a deadline date, don't miss the opportunity. So, okay, go for the deadline date.
Right.
That's the way I
but-
remember it.
okay,
In excess.
that's,
Right. In excess
but
of
only
3.7.
if the bids come back and they exceed the 3,672,000. If they're under 672,000,
Then that has been approved.
then that has been approved by the town.
672 was approved.
672,000
672, and the 3 million,
is the grant.
The 3 million is the grant.
the 3 million is the grant,
But-
the 672.
But again, if the
672.
project comes back and they say it's, now
4 million,
5.2.
But I
5.5.
thought we had one more round to go through the townspeople, or do we not have any
Oh.
more say?
Only if the total amount exceeds the 3.67.
It's not that whole town meeting recorded by Nat TV.
And absolutely, it's on,
sure
it's
it
on,
is.
it's on the
I'm sure we can
website,
look into it.
yeah.
So we
all
can
there.
go back
You
and.
can go back, yeah, it's on the
Well, that'd be
website.
Good.
The
Yeah.
meeting minutes are also posted on the website.
It's all there.
What happens on September 30th? Like for an extension to September 30th?
In reference to what? Exactly.
Well, we're doing the environmental review. Stone Engineering is working on that right now. And we'll have that by, I'm hoping before September 30th. I have a Zoom meeting with Stone Engineering and the state grant people tomorrow at 2:30. So
Is that the only condition that has to be met?
Condition for what?
Condition for what, that's right.
Town asked for an extension to meet the grant conditions to September 30th.
an extension for the environmental review. The
It says
environmental,
It says conditions.
okay, I'm sorry. I believe this is to complete the environmental review, which we are paying for, but will be reimbursed out of the grant money once the grant is all the grant conditions have been met. And I'm having a meeting tomorrow, as I said, at 2:30 to review the progress on the environmental review that Stone Engineering is doing.
I would love to be at that meeting if possible.
Great. I'll send you a link.
Great.
So I guess some people will be listening to the tape or rereading the town minutes, and it will be brought up again which way we're going.
Um, I was just going to say, I am hoping that they're going to lodge the grand list this week, but there's no guarantee. I know that we've asked for another extension, but I will bring you the tax rate as soon as I can. But it does look like we're going into August to get tax bills out. I just can't get too much further. And I think that's all I've got for you on the tax rate.
One tangential question regarding the dam and bridge program. With the basin report that just came out, in it, they clearly stated that the bridge and the dam should be done.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering if that amounts to some sort of state mandate, and if so, could we expect some additional aid from the state?
We're already looking for it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
part of what
we just got a-
Regional Commission is doing, is they're helping
Got
us get
a
other.
whole list of potential additional grant sources.
So that finding may actually help us obtain.
Yeah.
Karen?
I read an article, it talked about the state, and I even have a copy of it saying that the state was mandating it to be removed. Then I talked to the woman, yes, somebody's been talking to, that was an AI generated article.
I'm reading the actual state report itself.
Well, but when I specifically asked her that, she said, there's so much garbage out there that the state. She said, what you're reading is not great.
And who did you
I
talk to?
asked about if that's the case, does the state pay for it? She said that's not real.
That was the question. It's a 296-page report that DNR put out. In it, it clearly says, yeah, dam and bridge. And that's why if the state's mandating that, then own it up.
I hear you. Was it something like this?
Yeah. So
She said.
that's garbage
This is an AI report.
from the state itself.
Keep your email, I'll send you.
Okay.
Yeah, because I said the same thing, what?
The document I pulled down was from the state of Vermont website, so if they're publishing garbage, it's.
Okay, you guys,
You guys can look
you
at that.
guys work it out, okay?
All right, so now we're down to D, high water mark signs. They self-pay for the signs, we just gotta tell them where for it.
And we're not obligated to have them.
We're not.
It's more of another sign that we don't need to tell.
That would be my opinion.
I'm okay with not having it either, but.
Is there a deadline on this?
No, not an immediate one anyway.
Why don't we see what kind of
Deadline.
deadlines there are for it? Let's. I watermark right on the fire department.
I was thinking that too when I read that. That's exactly what I thought of when I read it.
One of them's a high water mark and the other one's almost as high as that.
And we didn't put 73 because we thought it scared us.
We don't have the high water mark on
73 is a foot higher. Yeah.
Was it? Oh,
All right, E, the Lowell school lease agreement.
So, I know Brian's been talking to the little school. I went and I
Not
stopped.
about this,
Okay,
just to
so
be clear.
we've talked about the lease agreement. Part of the lease agreement, if you read it, means that we as a town are responsible for capital maintenance of that building. It's a historical building and we own it. In my tour, there is stuff that has not been done to that building. The roof and the attic ceiling is falling apart, and they have squirrels and they have chipmunks in their attic. And that's where they store all of their toys and all of their stuff for the kids. So it is time to talk about, because their lease agreement is coming up down the road. I think we need to, before even signing the lease agreement again, take care of the things that haven't been taken care of before you enter into another agreement on a historical building that needs a lot of work. And I think, I don't know if we need to get someone in there to look at it, a contractor, how we put that out for bid, but it needs to be taken care of as soon as possible.
Yeah. Well, just am I reading right? This lease goes through August 31st, 2027.
That is
Twenty
correct.
2027, but
I'm
yeah,
not disagreeing.
yeah, no,
I'm
yeah,
just saying
but
we've got
moving down,
lots of
like,
time.
yeah, like we have time,
Yeah.
but we don't necessarily really have time to allow I mean, morally, in my opinion, a school to be in a building that has rodents.
We had talked some about giving them a 99-year lease for $1. They'd be responsible for everything. We'd throw the money in the paint fund and some money in the maintenance fund, because they have a bad habit of just going off saying, oh, we need this or that. And one of their bad habits was they wanted new floors put in over there for $112,000. And we got a person in there who straightened the floors out, and they're flat now. Before they had some humps and stuff. We got a hold of a guy who knew what he was doing, and he got them flattened out. And I myself, I would think you'd want to take and do the 99-year lease thing, and then when they come up with these want lists, they can fund them themselves rather than think we were going to automatically write a check for what they think they wanted. I mean,
I don't think that they're assuming that we're gonna automatically write a check for anything. I'm saying that it's in the lease agreement that it's on us to take care of capital maintenance, and that's a part of it. We have to stand up and hold our end of the agreement and take responsibility for this building that is important. And I don't really think that there's willy-nilly being like, well, you know, we're just gonna spend all the money and not care about it. I mean, I think the buck has been passed off, and that's why we are where we are right now. And I think it's worth having an open discussion about how to move forward before this possible 99-year lease for $1 a year that we give to this school that probably doesn't have the money to maintain the building.
they took in, there's rumor, I don't have any facts to prove it, but under this new state education bill, the state is gonna be pulling the day kids out of there, taking them to Floodbrook, and then these people are gonna step up and take the babies. So if that happens, you can bet your bottom dollar, there's gonna be a bunch more state regulations that you're gonna have to meet, and it's gonna be some costly.
Well, then we're not gonna have a school if we're not gonna meet with the state regulations. I think one of the important things about the village of Weston is that we have the little school, that we have an educational space for young children. And
why are we the only ones supporting that? None of the other towns throw money in to support that place.
well, then maybe that's a conversation we should have with other towns. I mean, we have other inter-town agreements.
Out of towners have to pay.
I don't know the
Everybody
answer.
pays.
That's,
Everybody pays it.
but I don't know that specific,
Yeah.
answer right now, but I think that's
But we-
a part of the discussion that we really need to
Absolutely.
find out.
Yes, I
No
think part of the discussion for me anyway is that if we are giving this very generous deal, which we are, and I understand why in a way, right?
Mhm.
but I think we need to understand a little bit of the numbers, at least I do, and I don't
Yeah.
know them all.
I agree.
That's why I asked for this all.
I understand.
Start now
Yeah.
rather than a
Yes,
Yeah.
month ahead of time.
so
In
that's
the
what we.
meantime, just
Hi.
The one thing to keep in mind, and you should check your town report, I'm sorry, your town plan. I think the town plan has a big statement about the
This is
need
important.
for,
Yes.
childcare and early childhood
It is in the
development
town
and
plan.
blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
So, that, just check.
Agreed.
It is in the town plan.
Plan says.
Yeah.
I actually usually bring the town plan with me, but I did not today.
just to circle back to rodents in the attic, shouldn't we call an exterminator?
I already did,
Good, so that's gonna be.
but but we have
Maybe
to,
get some
yeah, we
quotes.
have to talk about, like, I made a phone call, but do we have to make a motion here in the meeting in order to, but a part of a capital maintenance,
Yeah, you don't need a
maintenance, we
motion.
don't need a motion, it's just,
Part of
has to happen as part of
operating
capital
expenses.
maintenance.
Yeah, and,
Just,
right.
I just wanna get it
I
done,
think we-
you know?
Yeah, get it done and let's get some quotes and then maybe at that point we need to approve spending that money, but,
Okay.
till we know what the numbers are.
With number as we can, make
Yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, sounds great.
Brian, your radar and speed sign project.
Well.
Let's talk about it.
Say that again?
So who's shooting you down this year?
Well, the speed study, you probably all saw the black lines across the streets, so that is completed. So I was hoping to have
Even
it
though one of those lines was coiled up.
it broke, I know, I reported it the day I
Yeah.
saw it. But they did have it down for almost 2 weeks for that, you know,
Yeah.
because the first week that we put it down is when they were doing a lot of pole work. And so everyone was going through the town at about 10 miles an hour. So I said, well, we're not counting that. So anyway, Colin has been very good at doing it. So I'm waiting for a report. I don't have it yet. They should be giving me a report. I thought I'd have it this week, but they're working on it. And I was just told by Chris, I think Chris Campany, that it's coming like today or tomorrow. So I'll have a report on the results of that study and then we'll take it from there.
Hey,
Karen has a question.
we've got, Karen,
Yes.
Uh, Two questions. Well, how many black and red dump trucks does Weston own?
Pardon?
How many dump trucks that are red hat and black? Weston own?
Two.
Two. Okay, so yesterday, as you know, I live on Route 100. Some pictures. And you can look at 3 of these pictures. This is one of Weston's dump trucks. I tried to catch it going after we turned at your house, going towards Ludlow. I got up to 65 miles an hour, took a photograph of my speedometer. Never got to him before he turned to Andover. When I turned to Andover, I never saw him again. This is our dump trucks speeding. Now, I'm not saying they're the only ones, but this is gonna stop.
Karen, when you're taking these pictures, are you going at the speed you're going to catch up to them or?
Yes,
All right, see,
To
wait a minute,
to see
Hey,
how
man.
fast he's going, cause I,
Yeah, but Karen, if you're driving, I think what Denny asked, are you going at the speed you had to go to catch up with it? And you said,
I never caught up to him,
okay,
but I was
You-
going 60.
okay, but you did. Never
Okay, so
mind.
no-
Okay,
So
that's-
I have a question. Were you, no, this is a legitimate question. I'm curious about the scene. Like, what was it like when Karen Cerrone saw this dump truck going down the street? Did she see it was like, I'm gonna jump into my car, get her keys, then get into her car, then turn on the car, and then back out, and then go up the mountain, and then take this picture at 65 miles an hour, and then be like, I never caught it. I'm just curious about what the scene,
So-
what the scene is here, to have
so-
perspective.
If I'm standing in my front yard, these,
Here you
and not just our dump trucks are going so fast, I can't read what's on the dump truck. And I've tried for a week.
But there's also
I'll tell you
M&M
what,
excavation
Karen,
that goes through
Karen.
there.
I went to this, to.
Karen,
Can I say something? Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah,
Hold on.
Jason has something to say.
hold on.
Sorry,
Okay.
Jason.
Hi, if one of my employees is speeding in a dump truck, I'm definitely gonna say something because there's no need for it. Um, as far as I know, I've never had to drive the dump truck over 60 miles an hour anyway. Um, I don't know if it's governed or not. I've like I said, I've never been over 60 miles an hour with the truck anyway. But I will look into it and I will make sure it doesn't happen again.
And in addition, I've got a radar gun,
Oh, yes.
so I will give it to you. Okay?
I would like to someone take a picture of Karen Cerrone holding the radar gun.
Yeah, there you go.
Please, like, I need a picture of that. Like, please, or take a selfie, Karen,
I
please.
actually went down to the corner and waited to see the name on the truck.
Is that what happened to your list?
Oh, no. No, but, I mean,
Pulling the trigger on the radar gun.
yeah, that, yeah.
Okay.
Karen, I'll get it to you.
Easier to get the plate number than it is to sign.
Speeding is what
Yeah.
I might have actually done. But there is one Weston dump truck that goes very slow down the hill, I will tell you.
Okay, we have to.
Yeah, look.
Well, average them out then, Karen.
Well, if they're speeding, I'll make sure they don't do it no more, for sure.
Thank you, Jason.
No problem.
That
Sounds really good, but it's also kind of,
Bridge repairs from an accident. The bridge on Greendale Road was hit by a car. We had the state come down to look at it. They wrote us a report and they wrote us 2 suggestions. So when one of these outfits came in, I told them what the state had wrote. I wasn't there when the second one come in, but run into a little problem with 2 state agencies. The one that wrote the report made a couple recommendations. And then the water resources guy, Scott Jensen, came down and he says, no way you don't touch that stuff in the river. So it's kind of hard to figure one estimate here because I just found that out a day or so ago. But
So should we
You have to put new bids out.
well, put it this way, one outfit's already scheduled this work for October. And winter will be here upon us. And one guy broke it out. So much for repair for car damage. Then he put in railing, bridge porch railing for another price. And then he put the price for riprap under the bridge, so he's got it all broke out. You might be able to break it out from under this one here. You've got mobilization, traffic control.
They're not quite the same breakdown.
No. So I'm not pushing one way or the other, but another 2 weeks. I don't think you really want them doing cement work after 1st November, but maybe.
But if we agree to this contract from one of these, are we agreeing to pay this exact amount, or do we pick and choose what can be done in this? Because this was done with an idea of a larger
This one
project in
here
mind.
spells it out, Katie.
Oh, I'm not looking at this
And
one,
we can
sorry
do the
about
third
that.
section of that anyway, right?
Yeah, we can delete that.
We can delete that 9,000 at the bottom there.
Okay,
because
sorry,
we
I
can't
didn't
do
see this.
the rip. So that means for
That,
these
is that for the rip wrap at the bottom of the water to put the water
Yeah.
back in
He
the
said
center?
he was gonna send you a report.
Yeah, we don't need that. He said we don't need that at all. He said embutment for the bridge looked perfect. There was no need to mess with any of that down there because if we put big rock down in there, that it would choke the water
Narrow
out,
it,
which
yeah, it would choke it out and narrow
Yeah,
it.
it would narrow it and choke it out with the next flood. So, I mean, we potentially we'd be losing what we put in there.
Doesn't the woman's car insurance pay for this?
Well, see, we have to.
Yeah, but we have to accept a bid for the company in order to submit it to the insurance and for them to pay.
But we're not actually on the hook for it.
No, this person's car insurance is going to pay for it.
The only thing we're gonna be paying for is there's, on both ends, there's gotta be guardrails,
That should have
which
been
weren't
there.
there. That's on us.
That's the 13.6 on this, right? That's the second project. So this one
And
for that,
you're,
Go ahead,
you're
Jason.
talking about a guardrail that runs down the rails that are on the bridge, correct?
No. They run through the gravel and stuff as it makes a Y as you come onto the bridge on both sides.
the four
What,
corners.
Kind of something like you got on the first bridge.
Gotcha. What about armoring the bridge with guardrails down the edges of them?
Narrow.
Because they did say something about that too.
You're talking different bridge. You're talking different bridge. The report on the first bridge.
Okay, I was thinking it was for the two bridges, but okay, that's fine.
You're talking the first bridge.
Okay.
We have and the insurance company is gonna be paying for this, so we just need to authorize. Do you have a feeling about which of these guys would be a better?
They both do bridge repair. And, you know, like I said, I'm looking at time factor for winter.
Yeah. So am I right that the
Daniels is saying October.
yeah,
And the other one-
guy is 22,000?
Yeah, that would be exactly what I came up with, 22, because we just
Yeah.
need to do the first two sections.
13.6
But
plus.
we don't have a date from him?
I don't have a date
think.
yet.
Well, since the insurance company is paying for it, it would be if Daniels is blocked out the time in October. Maybe they're the ones to go with, but I would totally defer you to.
Both of them know it's gotta be done this fall.
Have we worked with either before?
I think
this
both of
person-
them have done work, yeah.
Both have.
Yeah.
I do believe
Who's the other one?
Gurney and Daniels.
Oh, yeah, they both work for the town. of Weston.
Okay with either?
Yeah, I think it's 6 to 1, half dozen the other, as far as I can tell.
Daniels does very good work.
Should we call them both and just get a confirmed date on when they're available and take it from there in terms of making sure that it gets done earlier? As you said, we're getting close to they start in October, they're gonna be done. But you said 1 week, they should be, right? You said it would be probably about a week, or that's what they're
Yeah.
saying. I just wanna make sure we don't choose one that's not gonna be able to do it.
Did you
by
read the
default.
email from Gurney?
I feel
sorry.
I feel like we should.
That
reach
is
out.
the email.
Because I thought he said something about some other stuff in there, okay?
Gurney?
Oh, wait a minute, no, I didn't put the email. Yeah, that's what he said.
This is from
No.
Gurney.
That's the whole thing from him.
Gurney.
I can reach out.
Boy, they're both pretty good.
So, with not having as much knowledge as people in this room on bridges that I and repair, I would feel comfortable if we reached out to them and got a cemented end date as Brian has suggested. Then we can make a choice on that.
All right,
On
let's
the
leave it this way. Now you make a call, find out from Gurney when they plan to do it. If they're later, goes to the other fellow.
Okay.
If they're earlier and his prices are the same, goes to the other one.
Sounds good.
Sounds great.
Makes
So
sense.
call Bernie, find a time frame.
Yeah.
Mhm. Thank you.
Found my agenda.
I hid mine.
Flags for life, I guess.
I think Jim Linville has something to say on this.
So I reached
Don't have
out,
it. Got it.
yeah, just a quick report. I reached out to some friends in Londonderry, and it turns out that the Wantasticate Rotary Club in Londonderry puts up the flags in Londonderry and South Londonderry, and they would be willing to do it for us as well. We need to specify the exact number of utility poles that we want flags on. And apropos of nothing, they were hoping for about a dozen. So we need to identify those poles, contact Green Mountain Power to get permission to use them. And we'll also need to pay for the flags and hardware, which is about $100 per pole that the Rotary will purchase. And they will hang the flags, take them down in the fall, store them and re-hang them the next year. And, you know, at some point, they wear out, and we're gonna have to come up with another $100 a pole. So we need to get this going. We've got to obviously make a motion, and we've got to designate someone to identify what poles we're going to.
Well, before we do that, I want to talk about where the money's coming from. Where's the money coming from? Is we don't have a beautification committee. We talked about it last time. There wasn't any offer. We don't have it in the budget necessarily right now. Is it
Well-
possible to put it in the budget for next
Well,
year?
that would be part of the
Specify it?
motion.
That would
is
be part of the motion, right?
To commit to budgeting
Okay.
basically $1,200 if it's a dozen poles next year to and you know, we could 5 years.
Oh, no,
so,
it's totally an
yeah.
investment. Just
Yeah.
want to make sure that we're like
Yeah.
doing it the right way.
Regarding flags, since I'm the one that started, and my research, I don't know where they're coming up with $100 for the cost, but that's pretty high.
The Rotary Club that they're gonna do it, they gave them that cost.
Well, a flag is like $27 with hardware. But federal guidance and prevailing municipal policies effectively ensure that US flags are prominently displayed on most state and local government properties. And of course, compliance is, you know, what you do with them. There is no Vermont flag over here, and this one, poor guy needs to be retired. As he's faded.
Too much weather.
Something about flags, and they look nice on the pole. A lot of them get ragged and they don't get taken down. But if you're gonna leave a flag up at night, it is supposed to be lit.
So now we have to
All
budget
these
in like,
towns that leave them up, it's wrong at night. You don't light your flag at night. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, almost 1 million people have given their lives for this flag. All we can do is respect it, and we need to adhere to that respect for our flag.
so we should put into that we should talk about getting solar powered lights that can be attached to the flags to shine
Or
out.
take them down.
Take them down every night?
Yeah.
Who's gonna take them down every night? I'm not gonna take them down every night.
Put them up every morning.
Do you wanna put them up every morning?
I'm not doing it, no, but I'm telling you.
I'm just saying like I mean, that's a great, it's a great
I've
idea,
raised
but
and lowered the flag more times than you can count.
and thank you. Thank you, but also at the same time, if we're going to make a motion, we have to be specific about what we're gonna make a motion about. And if you're saying that it says that we're supposed to be lighting the flags.
Well, we got two different things. Let's
Is it?
focus on putting the flags up in town for the 4th of July weekend by the Wantasticate Rotary Club. I think we ought to deal with that. And then if there's some issues with town or post office or whatever.
I think he's
Flag.
actually, I think you're saying even the town flags that are up and down the main street, you believe should be lit.
Should be
is what
lit,
you're saying.
absolutely.
And that's not something that we are ever gonna be able to,
I understand.
right, so.
I believe those, all due respect, and trust me, I'm a member of the so, I think they changed the lighting regulations on flags over the years. And I agree they should be lit, but, you know,
Aren't there poles out here on the street that have lights on, street lights on them? So why don't you pick those poles to put flags up?
It's not a bad idea.
But also,
Just think, yeah.
It's a good
but
idea.
another thing that just came up is the veterans go through all the cemeteries and plant flags on the headstones, and they're not lit. So somebody can do research if they want.
and there's also more like 22 flag telephone poles you could put them on, so somebody needs to count.
Exactly. That's,
But we're paying $100
That's-
a piece.
But
so
a hundred
I am,
bu- 100
I am
bucks.
Okay.
going
Okay.
to move that we, commit, we thank the Wantasket Rotary for their, offer.
Yes.
We, agree to commit $1,200 more or less, per flag in our budget next year. I'm sorry, $1,200 total per flag next year, in our budget. So that we can reimburse the Rotary Club for their purchases. And, that we, designate someone to identify the poles and, our motion.
Second,
All those in favor? Okay, planner in front of town office, is that yours? Katie?
Are we in new business?
planter in town.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You mean the fountain?
Yeah, okay,
Yay.
yeah, so, there's been a lot of
First attempt.
conversation about, the planter that was a horse trough that was in a different place and that was moved. In the conversation of flags and beautification and the offer for someone to start a committee and there was no, volunteer for that, I went and I bought flowers myself. And then Brian and I went and put them in around the, horse trough that nobody knew what it was because it was full of just dead moss and a bunch of stuff that we had removed. It is essentially a bird bath that now has become a fountain because Brian went and he got a solar
It
powered
was the first attempt.
bubbler, but that actually just will evaporate. And
Put water in all the time.
yeah, we put water in it all the time. And so as we discovered this, there's nothing. Once, I don't know who decided one day to put just a mound of dirt around a base of a planter that or a horse trough. So there's nowhere for those plants to survive or no. Karen, I'm not even done talking, please. I know, no, okay, okay, I know, I know, okay, so, we spent a while going and putting in these plants and the idea is that we want to beautify the space. We're talking about flags, we're talking about putting lights up, all of that. My mother has decided to donate the money to do it. And now is the discussion of how do we move forward with what we're going to do with this historical horse trough? Do we have to keep it as a historical monument? Do we, how do we move forward with this process? There is an offer from a citizen to pay for it and to move forward with it. Do we start a beautification committee like we talked about it, like we talked about 3 weeks ago? Do I start it now? Do I make a motion to start a beautification committee? I don't know if I can take that on, honestly. But I am ready to have this discussion and move forward with making it look good.
Katie, are you talking about the big circular thing in front of Jeff Brown's house?
Yes,
It's
the
Jenny
horse-
Server. I think you're mistaken. It's always had flowers and plants in it, and people from the village somebody would volunteer and fill it. I think for years, Jeff Brown and
Yeah.
Mark Martins put
Correct.
begonias in there and stuff.
They don't want to do it anymore, and neither
Well,
does
fine,
Joanne Crowdy.
so some other neighbor will decide to make it nice, or your mother, that's a very nice gesture. But it's always just been somebody in the village who's said, oh, I've got some time and some plants and I'll make it look pretty.
Right, right. And let me just, what I heard from Jeff and Mark was that the reason they stopped doing it is because every plant they put in there died because
It's a waste of money.
the thing just doesn't
Well-
drain and it gets saturated. So that was their input. So that's why they had
And
suggested. the
Joanne
fountain.
Crowdy said the same thing. And so the idea is that, do we turn it into a planter? Do we take a drill gun and put holes into it so it can, but we can't do that because it's a historical monument, I think. It has 1906 on it.
It's granite or something. You can't-
And
Impactful.
it's not something that I think we can legally necessarily touch and do something about. So I'm making, and I'm bringing up the conversation to say, it's ugly. And I put flowers in it, and those flowers aren't gonna last. So.
Well, it's out in the sun, and so they're the wrong plants. They're not draining, but maybe fill it with some beautiful pebbles or rocks or something.
There's been more than one town employee threatened to move it with the logo. Karen,
Here's a historical picture for you. One of the things that I've heard would be a problem is the plows. If we could get some kind of curb around it and maybe put perennials around the bottom. But it was a fountain at one point.
It was a horse trough. It was never a fountain. It was just a horse trough. It never had an ability to be a fountain. I mean,
My understanding was, and I haven't seen that
I saw it.
picture, that it was spring fed at some point. There was a spring line, an old lead line that ran down through there and fed water into that.
Was that before it was moved over here? Because it used to be somewhere else. It
that
was-
picture clearly
That
shows.
picture is, it was somewhere else.
No, the bridge is in there.
Yeah, it's there.
The bridge is in there, Katie.
So.
And if I can finish my
Yeah.
conversation, so Elder Norton, who lives where
They used to live there.
Browns, she took care of it and she always had plants growing.
Mm-hmm.
The grass area around that used to be much bigger.
Yeah.
I used to have to mow that, and I took care of the park, took care of other things around the park that the ladies of the green, Mildred Norton basically, kept an eye on. The triangle around the poles in front of or by the post office was much bigger. We had to mow that with a push mower. The big rock on the other end, up by the playhouse, had much more grass around it, and we had to mow that. Life has changed here in Weston over those years, and blacktop has taken over. There's no more greenery in the village. And even years ago, I don't know if I was on the board at that time, but someone previous, ladies of the park, had asked us to remove all the soil and put new soil in, pay for it. Were you on the board at that time?
Yeah.
We did it once before, the town did, to replace that soil. And flowers grew in there for several years after that, so maybe it's just time the soil gets changed again, I don't know, I'm not a flower person. But
Too much salt.
there used to be a lot more greenery around the park. Is it time for that thing to go? I don't know,
So, to keep the discussion going, my mother has offered money to make it beautiful and to donate. We have, and I think there should be a discussion about it amongst people. It's historical. If we're gonna use it for a planter, then we need to figure out who's gonna maintain the flowers to make it look good. If we want to
Well, like water.
Water them, but designate it. I mean, it seems like everyone is complaining about it being ugly and there's a lot of history there, but we don't have Mrs. Orton here to do it.
And it's very bad.
And I agree with you, but that's why we're talking about it. So, but now I'm here trying to help, and I'm doing the best that I can, and that's talking about it and being honest and saying, how do we move forward and make it beautiful? That means that we need to talk about it and have an open discussion, and let's put it on the agenda for a month from now.
Yeah. It would be, I wonder, is there, like a horticulturalist or somebody that we could get some, consult with to see what.
And also,
Yeah,
do we have to talk to the Weston
Pardon?
Historical
You got
Society?
two or
maybe?
three of them in town.
Yeah, probably.
So, I have heard that there's no enthusiasm from the ladies on the green to take this on, so. Just
Perennial thing and native wildflowers. If you have a barrier, I'm assuming they salt that area.
Oh, yeah.
So if you had
We solved it.
a tall enough curve,
Of course.
maybe it would affect it.
I don't really have anything else to say right now about it.
Yeah. I think we keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I think you're gonna have to do some more research on it and thinking
Yeah.
about it, but, like Dwayne says, things have changed. And years ago, when that horse trough, there wasn't salt on the roads, this and that. People had more time to take care of that type of things. Nobody has time anymore. All right, we're gonna go 15. Garage. Jason wants to add more cameras and a wall for his office up for discussion. He wants wall so he can lock up the computer and other documents and stuff. Right now, you walk in there, anybody can see anything and everything. And
Do we have any kind of a price?
he'd take it out, building maintenance, said he'd build the wall, keypad, cameras. I have to get a price on.
Yeah.
The cameras have to be hardlined, so they can't be hacked.
The cameras can be used with the new thing that was just put in the
The new
internet.
internet. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. And so we were talking about getting 3 new cameras and putting them in the back, on the side, and then in the walkway, right, Jason?
I'm thinking one camera down by the salt shed would cover the salt shed and the sand pile, so I can
Got
see
it.
who's coming in and out. So scratch 2 of those cameras.
And I think we need to talk about changing the locks as well, but that's not on here, so.
So we just need to get pricing for some of this
Yeah,
stuff?
we need to get pricing, I think, for this.
Guess you
Yeah.
need a price for a keypad, whatever more you want on cameras.
Yeah,
Okay.
but, short of making a motion, I would suggest that once you get a price for these things, we're more than likely to approve them.
Yep.
Okay. I did talk with the computer tech this week. He came in yesterday and did the internet booster so that I had the camera working on the fuel tank and stuff like that. So an extra camera for the back wouldn't cost that much. So they're fairly cheap. So, and that's what the tablet is for, to get rid of the computer out of there, because basically the computer that's in there, everything is shorted out on it. It's I mean, it works, but it doesn't work. It works when it wants to. So
Or do you need a new computer, Jason?
I think so.
I would get rid of the computer and just keep a tablet, which would eliminate building a wall.
But we
in-
have to
in
have
the
a
shop.
hardline computer. We have to have a computer because it's hardline into the
Yeah.
system. You can't just have a
Oh,
tablet. It's a security issue. You have to have a hardline to the
Okay.
whole system.
So,
Okay.
so it sounds like just throwing out numbers here, sounds like we're not talking more than $4,000 or $5,000. So
Oh, no, it'll be a lot less than that.
3,000, 2,000, 2,500.
Probably, I'm gonna say 2,000 to be safe.
Okay, so I'm gonna move that we authorize Jason to spend up to $3,000 on keypads, a camera, the wall, and a new computer.
I second.
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
We go to B, Department of Forest and Parks, fire warden change update. This may end up being a black eye for the state of Vermont. I don't know. I understand that there's resistance building to what they did. And to my knowledge, they didn't contact any fire chiefs or any fire wardens. They just said, you fire wardens are done, you chiefs are now the fire warden. And some of the fire chiefs are fighting back and saying they don't have the time to do it.
I got about 4 days notice before the change took over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Sounds about right.
And so I don't know where it's going. I don't know where it's going. All I can say is it's another thing the dictators in Montpelier decided to do, and the 200 feet thing for the campfire is totally ridiculous. And all that tells me is whoever brought this in come from out west where they have these type things. And maybe they'll see their error of their ways this year in legislature. I don't know.
I know there's a couple of chiefs I've read. There are, I believe, 3 commissioners in the 3 districts. And I know there's a couple of chiefs that have said they will not write any permits for anybody for any reason. If people want a burn permit in their town, they need to contact the commissioner, and he's very freely giving out that phone number. So I know there's a couple of them that are doing that.
So what are you doing?
Nothing at this point. Depends how bad they tick me off.
So the last sentence here I'm reading, FPR recognizes that implementation of these changes will vary among municipalities, particularly in towns served by multiple fire departments or with no fire department. To support a smooth transition, FPR will be sending training materials offering this. I would like to talk to Chris tomorrow about this. Has anyone talked to Dan Gilmer?
It's just another state mandate. They say they're gonna do it, and you don't get any say. I don't see.
And there's no drop dead date on any of this, right?
Well, they're saying effective July 1st. This
Yeah.
past July 1st.
Within the first of May.
Yeah.
Fiscal year. Okay, I don't have any paperwork for zoning permit report, second
There should be
quarter.
one, is there one pager? Because you guys. It's straightforward, I think.
Permit for one new single family residential additions, 2 subdivisions. Change of condition from existing DRB decision, accessory building and boundary line adjustment. That was it for. There's been a suggestion that we do some restructuring of this select board to discuss area responsibility for individual members to be assigned liaison address issues that come up between scheduled meetings, areas of responsibility, which might include roads, full school, bridge, dam, community association, playhouse building, Weston Theater Company, town business, zoning issue, Will Goodwin Planning Commission, speed science, etc. And
So this came up because in us as a new board, we're three of us are new, two have been working in this capacity for a long time. And the idea is, how can we be the most effective and the most efficient, and not step on each other's toes, and have our own corners that we can come together and discuss. So the idea, and it was Pam who did a little research and then brought it to me, and the idea is that we want to designate liaisons, a point person. So there'll be a point person for, like, say Brian would be in charge of HR, because he's got a history in that. Denny would be the point person for the road crew. Jim would be a point person for V-Trans. And I would suggest that we call a special meeting for us as a board to come together and talk about what those big
categories.
Thank you. I was thinking, categories are, I couldn't figure the word, what those categories are. And it really, it just so we can divvy up the roles. Patty, as our executive assistant, doesn't feel like she's being pulled in so many different directions, having everyone ask questions that are hard to pin down. And so no one has unilateral say in any of these subjects. It's a liaison. They are the point person. They go and they get all the information. We come back together and we discuss it. And I have a note here. Sorry. So it should be someone to basically be a contact person who gathers information and brings issues to the board for all of us to have a conversation and make decisions. And that's just I'd make a motion. So I would like to make a motion that we schedule a special meeting to, when Pam is better, maybe she can zoom in, and we can start talking about a structure that will work for us, that will make us a better functional unit, and we can get more done. Thoughts?
How about we just agree to think about these various categories of areas of responsibility.
Yeah.
And try to broaden this list for next meeting. And then when we've got a good list, then we can start picking people to.
Yeah, makes sense. I think I understand what you're saying. Some of it is already being done naturally. I mean, just
Yeah.
Right.
The things you just pointed out is kind of.
Yeah.
So, but yes, I get it. And if that would make Patty's life a little bit easier, so she knows who to go to, that would be helpful. You're saying, yes. Yeah. Okay. Sounds like a good plan.
Ken, you had a question?
I was just gonna ask, why don't you just put it on the next agenda?
Well, I think he just did suggest that.
There's a second.
We don't have a motion. We're just gonna put it on the agenda.
I make no, that was I retract that motion.
Yeah, motion didn't get.
Yeah, motion did. Yeah, there's no motion.
Sorry.
Sorry.
All right, Weston Community Leadership Summit nominee, is that what you and Pam said you both wanted to go to?
Yeah, I couldn't make it last year. I had a personal thing come up, but I would really like to go. Pam would like to go. She's not sure where that is right now, but if we can both go, that would be great.
So I'm gonna move that we nominate Katie and Pam to attend the Community Leadership Summit.
Great.
As representatives of Weston.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, now we come down to this. 2 weeks ago, there's an issue came up about use of this building. And I said, no. Then Jim got hold of it. He and I had discussion and I was pretty adamant. No, for several reasons. You couldn't secure the upstairs. You didn't know who was coming in, regardless of what organization there is. There's always two bad apples. And we were having an issue with the toilet at the time. I don't know if it's been fixed or not. And so it happened to be 19th. I just figured town office was closed. Monday I find out he walked in, asked for a code. I never received a phone call. It pretty much told me that my time isn't worth shit. I come down here, I spend time doing stuff, and I get no support. Been here about 30 years, and so now it's time for me to retire. Goodbye, everybody.
Denny, as I've said to you before, I don't want that to happen, and
Denny.
your time here is worth a lot. We do support you. I understand the situation did not go the way you felt it should, and I don't argue it, but we wouldn't do that. We need you.
What Mr. Linville did was not just a knife in someone's back. It was a prohibited act under the Code of Municipal Conduct. So this is an ethics complaint against Mr. Linville for misuse of government resources. This is a complaint against Patrick for essentially the same thing. No one had authority to be messing with door codes to this building.
Who messed with the door? I didn't mess with the door codes.
You said you scrubbed the codes. You had no authority to do that. He had no authority to do what he did. And I don't know how many times I've been in here complaining because someone decided to take care of something on their own. So, two complaints about that.
Great.
And a reminder that for conflicts of interest that are brought up, there's a procedure for that also. So I don't know who the ethics liaison is here in town, but they need to get these because you guys, you don't treat each other right, you do what you want. And that's part of the dysfunction of this town. So, because your resignation has not been accepted yet, please go to the ethics liaison.
Well, I got this letter from the staff attorney at VLCT. Control of the building is given to the select board. The majority of the board, it's not up to individual decision of the chair, vice chair, or any other single board member. In other words, the majority of the board must vote to make a firm decision as to what after-hour access will be. I was not sure what this labeled this question. We had the Weston Theater Company ask if they could use the bathrooms for the building after hours. The chair, Denny, decided not to give them access to the building after hours for two reasons. We have an upstairs to the building. We have no door lock that area, and due to sensitive documents in that area, if they have access to the building with no staff in the building, they're free to wander upstairs. We have ongoing plumbing issues. Chair made a decision until it could be discussed at the next select board meeting on June 23rd. The vice chair came in, overrode the decision of the chair, asked for a code for the door from the assistant clerk, gave this code to the Western Theater Company to use. If there are any violations over him overriding the chair. As of June 23rd, the meeting was decided to the after hours not be given to the reasons mentioned above. The select board member had already code removed from the door. No further access was given. So, Patty, you can mail these.
Can I say something? Going behind the chair's back. And you can That's a flammable. It seems like the select board needs to make a decision. It's fine in that the chair had made a decision that he was undercut by another select board member. So I think the select board needs to decide if they want Mr. Benson to be leaving over something that should not happen.
The select board does not want Mr. Benson to be leaving. I've told Mr. Benson that, and
There's also a legal process for how this goes. And Denny can resign, which seems like he's doing. But there also needs to be a process. There needs to be executive session. There needs to be a space where we can all come together and make that decision together, I believe.
We're all elected officials.
there's no decision.
And there's a process for,
You're right.
for basically kicking an elected official out.
Right.
And you have to call a special town meeting. First of all, you need to get a petition from basically 15, no, a petition, which I think is, in our case, would be about 70 signatures. And then you have to have a town meeting, call a town meeting, and you have to have a majority of that town meeting that would have to be larger than the town meeting that elected the official vote to impeach him or fire, whatever.
Or a select
There
board
is a
member
process.
could versus their resignation.
Yeah.
Well,
That's right.
so Jim, it falls to you as vice chair to come and finish the meeting.
Yeah.
It does.
So any community events that we want to announce?
I think we have a library announced.
We have a library announcement and that has been made.
Yeah. Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Recording stopped.